This is the final video of section 6 on deploying to Heroku. In this video we're going to create a Heroku application on which we'll host the application we made together. The first thing we'll do is creating the actual Heroku application. Then we'll serve our application using a really basic Express.js server using Node.js. And when that's done, all that's left to do is deploy the application to Heroku. Okay, let's begin by creating our Heroku application. You should have installed the Heroku toolbelt for this course. We'll need that in just a second. If you don't have it, go back to the first section for instructions on setting it up. Let's start by logging into Heroku first using the Heroku login command. Enter your email address and then also your password. Alright. The first thing we'll need is a custom build pack for Heroku. Heroku does have a Node.js build pack, which we'll need, but it doesn't have gulp installed. That's why we're going to fork the build pack on GitHub from this location. You could also use that repository directly, but the danger of doing so is that the repository might disappear someday. By forking it, we guarantee that our copy is always available to us. So after forking the build pack, we'll copy the repository's URL, which we'll use to create the Heroku application. Go to the terminal and type Heroku create -- build pack and then the URL to the build pack. Okay, cool, we have our very own Heroku application. Okay, now that that's up and running, let's create a really basic Node.js web server that serves our application. Let's install Express and gzippo using npm. So npm install -- save express and gzippo. Express is going to act as the web server, while gzippo will take care of serving the static files. Go back to the project and create a new file in the root folder of the project. Let's call it web.js. In this file, we're going to require both Express and gzippo. And then start a basic web server. Create the server by executing the Express module and then add the gzippo middleware to serve our static assets in the dist folder. Lastly, we'll tell the server to start listening on a predefined port, or if there is no port, on port 5000. The reason why we let it run on a predefined port using environment variables is because of Heroku. Heroku determines which port it'll use. If we hardcode a port, we won't be able to serve our application. Now we need a way to tell Heroku to run our server. To do so, let's add a new file to the project root called procfile with a capital P. In this file, we'll tell Heroku to start running the web.js file using Node. And that's it. Since we need to compile all of our production assets on the server, we're going to add a gulp task alias. Since our environment will be production, we'll add a new Heroku task to the gulp file. The name of the task is really important since that's part of the custom build pack we're using. It uses the format Heroku, and then the environment, where environment is production in our case. So let's add that task and pass in the build task as a dependency, so that our build is run on every deploy. Since Heroku can magically tell which environment the application is running on, we'll specify that using an environment variable. Let's go back to the terminal and add the environment variable to the Heroku configuration. So Heroku config sed node_env is production. Okay, it looks like we're done, so I'm just going to commit all this. And then we're going to push it to the Heroku master branch. Make sure to push it on the master branch because that's the only branch Heroku will deploy on. So let's push it to the remote Heroku and push the master branch. Then Heroku is going to kick off and start our build process. Okay, it looks like we're done, so let's open up our app by using Heroku open in the terminal. And it should launch a web browser, let's see. Okay, apparently it's not doing what it's supposed to. Let's take a look. It's missing vendor.js. That means that our Bower components haven't installed properly yet. Let's take a look. Okay, we're going to need to save Bower locally as well, so use npm to install and save Bower to the package's dependencies. When that's done, let's open up our package.json file. And in the scripts object, we're going to add a post install script, which is going to fire after npm has installed its own dependencies, so before our build processes. So we're going to add the Bower binary in the node modules folder, and then use that to install Bower's dependencies. Okay, make sure to add everything to Git, make a new commit. Let's say add Bower integration. Alright, post install, that'll do. And now just push it to Heroku master remote again and wait for the build to finish. It might take a while. Okay, looks like it's done. Let's open up the application again using Heroku open. Alright, looks like we fixed the Bower issue and it works as intended now. And the last thing I'm going to do is add a quick link from the dashboard to the Arena view. So let's go ahead and open up our dashboard view. Alright. And down below, let's just add a quick link to our Arena. So we're going to use an anchor element and then say play a match. And we're going to use Angular UI srev directive to reference the Arena view. Let's check it out, see if it works. Alright. We just deployed our first application to Heroku, so give yourself a pat on the back. There's still a bunch of stuff to do, such as creating styles and markup for it and so on, adding links here and there to the various states. However, I'm going to leave that in your, by now, very capable hands. We'll discuss any future steps you can take to take the app to the next level in one of the next sections. This pretty much concludes the course on deploying AngularJS. We've created a basic application, then made sure everything was precompiled and minified for production, and then we've deployed it to Heroku. In the next section, we'll be wrapping up things by providing a quick recap and any troubleshooting steps for issues you might have. Congrats on a job well done.